So, I'm now standing here with Sasha Bukovnik. He is the responsible solution manager for Powertrain, durability, and NVH. And I'm curious, what's new in your solution area?
Hello, Oliver. So thanks for this interview. We have focused our work in the last years to bring the new platform on which we are developing our software Excite and the new version of Excite, which we call Exite M now. And the focus was to enable Exite M to perform powertrain durability and NVH analysis for all types of powertrains. So now not only electrified powertrains, so e-drives, but also hybrids and combustion engines can be simulated with Exite M.
Yeah, and how did you achieve this, that you now can cover all the different powertrain types?
Yes, so the main focus for this release is that we enabled possibility to simulate elasto-hydrodynamic joints, mainly radial bearings, axial bearings, and piston liner contact, in the same way as we had in Excite Power Unit, but of course with some improvements, which brings the usability for the user, and the quality of results stays on the same level or even will be improved in the future for Excite M.
What does this mean with usability? What is changing for the user?
Yes, for the user is mainly this visualization when the model is prepared. You know, oil film, elasto-hydrodynamic joint, there is a lot of input information which needs to be provided for the bodies, for the oil film properties, and very difficult to visualize. And now we have added visualization of a bearing profile, for instance, of the position of the oil supply, any kind of geometry information, orientation, where is the active side, where is not the active side, is now added visually in the graphical user interface, so the user immediately see when he defines a certain value, how is this actually going to be in reality. In the Excite Power Unit, we had some difficulties to visualize the things. Now it's much, much nicer.
Beside these usability topics, has something else changed for this elasto-hydrodynamic?
Yes. We have actually modified or improved the data storage. It's now a new file format which enables less memory consumption, and this file format is automatically generated during the simulation. So that means this post-processing step, which was before necessary to generate the result, is not anymore necessary. So practically as soon as a one-time step in the simulation is finished, user can actually see these results because they are already visual, and these results can be automatically then viewed in Impress M. Yeah.
I was thinking now about the different powertrain types, about the elasto-hydrodynamic coupling, and we talked about the Excite Power Unit, Excite M. Who do you recommend to make the transition, to change now from Excite Power Unit to Excite M?
Practically all the users who were focusing on the electrified powertrains, they could already use, and they already use actually, Excite M. We called it Excite E-Axle, but now we changed the name to Excite M to be unique for all our products. And historically, the combustion engine users could already start now, especially if they start new projects, so that when they start from scratch, they could start with the Excite M. And this would then be possible also for hybrid application, because now we have electrified components, we have the IC engine components, we can also do the hybrids very well.
I mean, as an Excite Power Unit user, I mean, you have a lot of models available, you have built up over years. What does it mean for these users? Do they need to build it up from scratch, or is there any kind of support? How does this look like for the Power Unit user?
They could build it up from scratch, and due to the improvements in the usability of the graphical user interface in Excite M, it's actually not a big deal. Nevertheless, there is always a possibility that you miss something, that you forget something, or make a mistake. So for these users who improved their models over the years, polished every detail, we now in this release actually have a so-called model export functionality built in Excite Power Unit so that the user can export their model in the format so that it can be read in Excite M. This export functionality is, let's say, a help for the user. It will never be possible to translate everything in the same way because the model data structure of the model in Excite M is different. So we have a strict distribution between the data which is related to the body and data which is related to the joint, which was a little bit combined in Excite Power Unit. But let's say it's advised when you perform this model export that you have a look at the model in Excite M, maybe check a few things before you start running. But it's a big help. So I would say from 90 to 100% of the model will be correctly transferred. All the data which are necessary are there. Maybe Excite M, some fine tuning would be necessary. Then you can start running the model.
That sounds very, very impressive, and the transition also for the ICE and engine related users. Coming back to the Excite M, a starting point where we are having a lot of transmission application, e-axle application. Is there also for this user something new in this release? What can you tell us about that?
Yes. So one of the focus which we had in this release is to, let's say, make running the transient simulation in time domain easier, because Excite M and Excite Power Unit in general are time domain solutions that could actually in essence cover any kind of transient simulation. But we know in model powertrains where we have a lot of transient simulation, especially for hybrids, where you have engine starting and stopping, e-motor changing the torque from drive to recuperation or regeneration. So all these maneuvers can be now simulated, including the influence of controller, because controller has a significant influence on the dynamic behavior and will lead to maybe, let's say, effects that are strong in the NVH or that are important for the durability. Furthermore, we keep on improving the components in Excite M, so the new possibility to add as an assembly so-called floating bearing, so the user doesn't have to make any components, but just with one click the complete assembly of the floating bearing is added, which is often used in e-drives. Then, of course, the improvements on the rolling bearing when you have a multiple node connection, that you have a nice distribution of the load over the bearing races is improved. Then the capability of the gears where the flexible wheel is considered to capture so-known potato chip mode, where you have a vibration which is very strong, but actually the center of the wheel is not really moving, and many other improvements.
Okay. So if I understood correctly, a lot of things are focusing on one hand on usability topics, but also on even improving the quality and the accuracy of the model behavior.
Yes. So I think now we can cover all powertrains. We can cover all of them in a high fidelity level, so very detailed models, but also we can downgrade to simple and faster models in the same model. So practically switching to Excite M is the right time now to be able to perform your powertrain durability and NVH tasks.
Yeah, with that, thanks a lot for all this information. I'm very curious and thanks for your time.
Thank you.